Welcome now, for the first time to BYU Sports Nation, the newest linebacker. Harrison Taggart is with us. Harrison, welcome to Studio
What's
B.
up, man?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Good to have you back in Utah, man. The 1 year at Oregon, of course, and now you're back. What's it been like to be at BYU now?
It's awesome, incredible fan base, and it's awesome being back home, being able to catch up with some old friends and family, and yeah, I'm excited to be back and excited to be a Coug.
You were very highly recruited out of high school, out of Corner Canyon, and had several options, elected to go to Eugene, but now put your name in the transfer portal. You end up at BYU, but not surprisingly, were highly sought after once you got in the transfer portal. So why did BYU win out among so many different suitors?
BYU is different. There's so much going for BYU with it going into the Big 12 with the new defensive staff, led by Coach Hill, and then with Coach Enna being my position coach. Coach Enna always preaches that it's different. There's something different about BYU, and it has a lot to offer that other schools can't offer. And it's home. Yeah.
What were some of those differences that you liked enough to want to come here?
There are a lot of hometown players. The brotherhood, you really notice, like, with the whole religious aspect, there's a different culture, and the coaching philosophy is a little bit different than a lot of other schools.
We love Jay Hill. You brought him up. Incredible defensive coordinator, coming over from Weber State. I see you smiling as I mentioned his name. What were the conversations like with Jay Hill when he was essentially trying to convince you that BYU is the place for you and you have a spot to fit in as a linebacker here?
You know, my conversations with Coach Hill were like, it was almost like a best friend conversation. Like, we just talk about life, how my day's going, what I'm up to. We did get into scheme a little bit and how I'd fit and all that stuff, but Coach Hill, he's just a great guy, and you can tell the intensity when you're just talking to him. Like, he's fired up to be at BYU, and he's excited to lead this defense and call it, and I am so excited to play for Coach Hill.
What role did the Big 12 play in your decision?
A really big role. I mean, I think everybody in the BYU Nation's excited about the Big 12, but I am so excited. Playing in a Power 5 conference is always huge, and they're top competitors, and I want to win the Big 12.
Let's go. Harrison Taggart on BYU Sports Nation. How do you see yourself fitting in specifically into this defense? Like, for those that haven't seen you play, what do you bring to the field, and what will you do in this defense?
I'm a really fast, really physical linebacker. I'll add a ton of speed to the defense, a ton of smarts. And then being at Oregon, I have been able to wrap my head around a playbook, what a college scheme looks like. So I'll be able to add the smarts to the team and be able to help lead the team.
Was it, what was the process like coming out of high school? And how much did BYU initially reach out to you?
So out of high school, I didn't talk to BYU once.
Not once?
Not once, no.
Did BYU not reach out, or were you like, I'm good?
No, BYU never reached out.
Okay.
It was just not the fit.
Better late than never.
Better.
I'm glad they reached out later.
It beats me, I don't know, but I'm
They had
here
their
now.
reasons.
Yeah, I'm here now and so excited to be here. So.
Were you disappointed BYU didn't reach out initially?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I was definitely interested. I mean, I'm here now, and yeah, I was disappointed, but I mean, they have their reasons, and I'm everything works out for a reason. Yeah.
If BYU had reached out and been like, you know, heavy on the trail for you, would you have come here perhaps originally, or was Oregon going to be the spot?
That's a hard question. I don't know. It definitely would have been in the tops, and
You would have posted on Instagram, and BYU would have.
It would have been in
top
that
5 there?
group of 5. Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Gotcha.
Harrison Taggart on BYU Sports Nation, linebacker for BYU. What is life like in the transfer portal when you throw your name in?
So chaotic.
Especially as a 4-star recruit.
You put your name in and you sign your name on this paper, put your email and your number, and then all of a sudden you have JUCO, D2, D1, D3. You have everybody reaching out because they don't know where you stand, why you're leaving, what's going on. So everybody wants a shot. And it's chaotic, but I think the transfer portal is necessary for college sports.
Yeah, a couple years ago it would have been harder. One, you would have had to sit out, and two, it would have been harder to kind of be known. I do love the D3 and JUCO just shooting their shot, just in case the academics weren't that good.
Yeah, come here for a year. Help us win a national championship.
I'm playing where in Kansas? Yeah, exactly. Now you're at BYU. Are you enrolled right now? Are you living down here now?
I have to wait until whatever, because Oregon was quarter system, BYU
Gotcha.
semester system.
So fall semester will be the first and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, how are you expecting to kind of fit in? And you mentioned a lot of hometown guys. Are you familiar with a bunch of guys on the team at this point?
Yeah, I'm familiar with a bunch of guys. I've connected with Isaiah Glasker, Parker Kingston, Marcus McKenzie, and all those guys. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
As far as a linebackers room goes, what kind of communication have you had with, you know, the heroes of that room, like the guys that have been there for a long time, including Ben Bywater? Like what is that brotherhood like in the linebacker room?
It's super tight. All of them are. It's a true brotherhood in that room. It's part of the reason I wanted to come here is BYU came up to Oregon and I was able to see really how those linebackers mesh with Max Tooley and Ben Bywater and now AJ. It's a really tight room and I want to play under those guys and soak up what they've been taught over the course of the years.
I had forgotten, because of the result, that BYU played Oregon.
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't bring this up.
What was that like? Because you're a kid from Draper, and you know, it sounds like, you know, you would have liked BYU to express some interest, and then BYU comes in number 12. That was a wild one.
Yeah, it was awesome. It kind of blew my mind. You walk into the stadium and it's covered in blue. Like you're like, what the heck? Like it's almost like a hometown game.
Autzen is our stadium.
Yeah. No, but it was cool playing against a couple of my friends and being able to see them and see fans that I knew, and yeah, it was cool.
And you played in 3 games, so you maintained a red shirt, which is awesome. You have 4 years of eligibility. Was this one of the games you played in?
Yeah, BYU was one of the games I played in.
Okay. Do you remember the plays?
Yeah, I do.
Did you make a couple tackles?
Tons of pass rush. I made 1 or 2 tackles, but yeah, it was cool.
At that point, we were just crying. But yeah, it's all good. What do you expect? Because you've been at a notable Power 5 program, obviously in Oregon and big time. In year 1 of the Big 12, of sort of like what, and there are a few Power 5 transfers like yourself, but like what Power 5 football will be like to BYU? Because we feel like, hey, in Independence, BYU played a very good schedule. It's not like they're like, whoa, this is totally different. But certainly playing 10 in a row is going to be unique to BYU.
Yeah, it's going to be really good for BYU. I feel like a conference is really good for every single program, but a Big 12 conference is amazing, especially having still Texas and Oklahoma in the conference and we're still playing Arkansas this year, which is awesome. I think it really helps BYU's success in long term for a national championship, for a Big 12 championship. It just helps push the rankings and help the program succeed.
I know you obviously want to get on the field and do everything you can to earn a spot on the field. What are your expectations as a transfer coming in year 1 of this program in terms of how you are going to help this team?
It's the coach's eyes, coach's standpoint. Wherever they see me fit, I am more than down to play that. If they see me cheering on the sidelines, I'm more than down to do that too. It's just the coach's standpoint, but I would love to push in special teams and get as much time on the field as I could this year.
Is there somebody that you emulate or seek to emulate in the NFL, an NFL player comparison, something you strive for?
I've always loved watching and trying to play after Isaiah Simmons. He's from Clemson. He's playing for the Arizona Cardinals right now. His biggest attribute is speed. And he plays a little bit of safety, a little bit of outside linebacker, a little bit of inside linebacker. He plays all over the field. So I love trying to play after him.
What are you doing for fun right now, since it's June?
Fishing. Been out shooting shotguns quite a bit, sporting clays. Yeah, that's what my Junes looked like so far.
This is a good spot for you. It's not too far away from home. The fishing.
The Provo River is like renowned.
It's big time, man.
We're having some of the best fly fishing in the United States.
Big time. Yeah.
Harrison, congratulations on everything. Glad to have you back at BYU, and thanks for hanging out with us on BYU Sports Nation.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Okay, coming up this Friday.